A man found an injured wolf in the woods and carried it for hours until he could reach a vet, but no one expected what would happen next. Dmitri grew up in a little town in Alaska where he was born and spent his entire childhood happily. His parents regularly took him for long walks in the nearby forest. One of his favorite activities during these outings was searching for elusive wolves. Spending hours following their tracks, the young boy eagerly sought a glimpse of these majestic creatures. For reasons unknown, Dmitri found wolves to be among the most beautiful creatures he had ever encountered. As he grew older, his time spent in the woods with his parents diminished, but his affection for the forest remained steadfast. Each night, he would delight in the echoing howls of the wolves under the moon, reminiscing about his woodland adventures. Eventually reaching adulthood, Dmitri embarked on a journey to college with aspirations of securing a lucrative career. During his time there, he crossed paths with Elsie, a fellow student pursuing her studies at the same institution. The instant connection between the two sparked a mutual attraction, leading to them quickly starting to date. They returned to Dmitri's hometown after completing college, where they soon tied the knot. After settling back, Elsie and Dmitri welcomed two adorable sons, Jack and Thomas, into their lives. One of Dmitri's cherished activities with the sons was taking them for walks in the forest, a tradition passed down from his parents. Dmitri, accompanied by his sons Jack, now 12, and Thomas, 9, ventured into the snowy woods on a winter day. Entranced by the blanket of pure white snow, they were startled by an unusual sound resembling a howl, tinged with distress. Dmitri, instructing his sons to stay close, led them cautiously towards the source of the sound. The three boys abruptly halted as they emerged from the trees into a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a young wolf, seemingly just transitioning from adolescence. However, what caught Dmitri's attention was the animal's paw ensnared in a hunter's trap, eliciting pain cries that tugged at Dmitri's heartstrings. He cautiously approached the wolf, only to pause as it emitted a warning growl. Speaking softly to the distressed creature, Dmitri gradually inched closer, extending a hand in reassurance. Eventually, he reached a point where he could gently stroke the wolf's fur, soothingly conveying his intent to offer aid. Sensing Dmitri's sincerity, the wolf ceased its growling and affectionately licked his hand. The now calm wolf allowed Dmitri to inspect the trap. Thankfully, it appeared to be a basic clamp trap triggered by stepping on it. However, the animal had visible injuries, leading Dmitri to worry about a possible broken paw. Instructing his sons to stay back, Dmitri took a risky step. He opened the trap and freed the wolf's foot. Surprisingly, once released, the wolf didn't immediately flee as expected. Instead, it remained in place, whimpering sadly. Dmitri's worry intensified as he realized he couldn't leave the injured young wolf to fend for itself. Driven by compassion, he resolved to take action. He lifted the wolf gently into his arms. Thomas and Jack watched in awe as their father pursued this daring endeavor. Weren't they aware of the potential danger, the swift and lethal strike of the wolf's jaws? Despite the peril, Dmitri remained resolute in aiding the creature. Instructing his sons to accompany him home, he explained the urgency of getting the wolf to a veterinarian. Remarkably, the wolf remained surprisingly calm in Dmitri's embrace as they began their journey homeward. After a lengthy trek, Dmitri, accompanied by Jack, Thomas, and the wolf, emerged from the forest. Ensuring his son's safe return home, Dmitri hastily made his way to the nearest veterinary clinic. Exhausted from the strain of carrying the hefty animal, Dmitri breathed a sigh of relief as he gently lowered it onto the examination table in the vet's checkup room. The vet, taken aback by the unexpected guest, approached cautiously, mindful of the wolf's reputation as a dangerous predator. Despite the initial apprehension, Dmitri insisted on the vet examining the wolf's injured paw to ensure its well-being. The vet agreed and proceeded to scrutinize the wolf's paw. Throughout the examination, Dmitri tenderly spoke soothing words to the wolf, reassuring it and offering comfort. After assessing the injury, the vet informed Dmitri that the paw was bruised but not broken, indicating that the wolf could be safely released back into the wild. Concerned about the wolf's lethargy upon release, Dmitri questioned the vet. The vet explained that the animal had likely been trapped for several days, resulting in severe dehydration and hunger. The wolf should recover well in its natural habitat with proper nourishment and hydration. Grateful for the veterinarian's assistance, Dmitri intended to care for the wolf overnight. Upon returning home, the compassionate man led the wolf into his garage, providing it with food and water. Despite the creature's apparent gentleness, Dmitri remained mindful of its potential danger to his family. When Jack and Thomas inquired about the wolf's well-being, Dmitri reassured them with a smile, explaining that it needed some rest. Before retiring for the night, the curious boys peeked in the garage, marveling at the wolf's beauty. The following day, as the wolf showed signs of improvement, Dmitri considered it a positive indication of its readiness to return to the forest. The man and his two sons cautiously opened the garage, observing from a safe distance as the wolf gingerly exited before vanishing into the forest canopy. Although the wolf seemed to express gratitude by glancing back at Dmitri, in the following days, the female wolf lingered near Dmitri's home, nestled within the edge of the forest. It appeared reluctant to depart, much to Dmitri's puzzlement. Then, one day, the wolf was nowhere to be found, sparking concern in Jack and Thomas. Aware of the risks of venturing into the woods alone while their father was at work, the boys fretted over the wolf's disappearance. The two adventurous young boys, Jack and Thomas, decided to explore the forest's depths independently. As they journeyed further, they realized that there was no trace of the feared wolf that they had heard about. However, their predicament worsened when they found themselves disoriented and lost upon attempting to retrace their steps homeward. Fear gnawed at their hearts as they contemplated the chilling prospects of being stranded in the wintry forest. With desperation gripping them, the boys embarked on a frantic search for their way back home. Yet, as the sun descended, casting elongated shadows, and darkness crept, their prospects of returning home dimmed with each passing moment, leaving the boys in a dire predicament. Trembling with fear, Jack and Thomas sought refuge on a sturdy log, their bodies pressed close together in a desperate attempt to fend off the biting cold. Just when despair threatened to engulf them, Jack's sharp gaze caught sight of a pair of luminous orbs peering at him from amidst the dense foliage. His heart skipped a beat as he grappled with a surge of apprehension. What lurked behind those piercing eyes? Was it a problematic predator poised to strike? A whirlwind of uncertainty swirled through Jack's mind, inundating him with a torrent of unanswered questions. Yet, as the mysterious presence drew nearer, Jack's senses sharpened, and he discerned the graceful silhouette of a young female wolf, the very same creature Dmitri had valiantly rescued. Jack extended his hand with cautious tenderness, beckoning the animal to approach. Tentatively, the wolf inched forward, its delicate nose twitching as it sniffed Jack's outstretched palm. Upon confirming the boy's identity, a subtle flicker of recognition sparked in the wolf's eyes. Its tail commenced a hesitant wag. With a gentle swipe of its tongue, it tenderly licked Jack's hand before nudging both of them and Thomas with a soft, nudging motion. Having captured the boy's attention, the wolf took the lead, gracefully maneuvering through the dense foliage, pausing intermittently to ensure that the two children dutifully trailed behind. Following a strenuous journey lasting approximately 30 minutes, Jack and Thomas's weary eyes caught sight of a glimmering beacon of light, accompanied by the reassuring sound of their parents' frantic calls echoing through the forest. Overwhelmed with relief, the two boys quickened their pace, propelled by the prospect of reuniting with their loved ones. As they burst into the open arms of their parents, Dmitri enfolded his sons in a tight embrace, his heart overwhelming with gratitude and disbelief. Casting his eyes towards the forest's edge, Dmitri was astonished to find the female wolf observing the heartwarming scene of familial reunion. In that poignant moment, Dmitri stood stunned, realizing the extraordinary deed performed by the noble creature who had safeguarded his sons, guiding them safely back to the warmth and security of their home. In a calm tone, Dmitri expressed his gratitude towards the wolf, who seemed to acknowledge his thanks with a nod before gracefully vanishing into the forest depths once more. A bittersweet finality enveloped Dmitri as he realized their paths might never cross again. Yet the memory of the wolf's extraordinary act of kindness would forever be etched in his heart. Reflecting on the profound bond forged between two vastly different species, Dmitri marveled at the beauty of the fleeting encounter. Share your thoughts on this heartwarming tale in the comments below, and don't forget to show your support by liking and subscribing for more captivating stories.